Good morning, everyone. All right, we're live. Good morning. Sound check. Hey, Large Void. Good morning. How are you? Happy Friday. Morning, Delphine. How you doing today? Hey, what's up, Bueller? Bueller's in the house today. Nice, nice, nice. All right, good morning, everyone. It's Friday, May 15th, 2026. New day, fresh start. Welcome to Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. I'm your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple: live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable setups, all with the focus on building real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning we come in with the same goal: to build out the structure before the open so that we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces, not guessing, not chasing. All right, guys and gals, let's get after it. Let's map it out. As obviously, everyone's probably looking at their screen. We have this big gap down, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss a few things, but we're going to start off as we do every morning. We're going to respect the process. We're process orientated here, and we're going to start off with our higher time frame. Okay, so immediately jumping in, left hand chart, 4-hour time frame. We're looking at the ES. Excuse me. Kind of had that on regular trading hours. All right, so let's dig in. Let me grab my handy pen. All right, so immediately, guys, you know, we had these targets mapped out up here at 74.50 to 7,500, and we hit those targets, and now we're pulling back somewhat. We have this micro pullback here going on. I think ES is now, actually, probably not a micro pullback, right? We're down 1%, so I guess that's valid. But when you've rallied 17%, coming down 1%, I don't think that's that can be called anything that's rattling anyone. In fact, I'm sure a lot of bulls are looking at this as a buy the dip opportunity. But all right, so immediately coming into the 4-hour time frame, let's map it out. All right, immediately, guys, here we still have our 4-hour trend is still intact, right? Nothing has changed. We still have a higher low here that was formed on, I think this was Wednesday's 73.99 low. We still haven't breached that. Correct. That was Wednesday's low, followed by Monday's low at 73.63. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move and clear out this chart. Make sure we're looking at it nice and clear here. Okay. All right. So immediately, guys, those are our higher time frame references: 73.99 and 73.63. All right. So jot those down. Make sure they're in your narrative for the day. I just want to take a quick look at the 60-minute and see where these moving averages line up and see if we're really below them and where they line up on the upside. Okay, so see here on the 60-minute, we're kind of trailing this 9-period moving average. And so after we get on into the regular trading hour session, I'll probably drill down and keep that one front and center, just for looking for a momentum shift or something of that nature. All right, back to the 4-hour. Again, process orientated. We're going to stick to the process. We're going to respect the questions. We're going to go through them all. And we're going to do as we do every day, right? We're going to map out the most bullish argument. We're going to map out the most bearish argument. We're going to talk about a bullish trap trade. We're going to talk about a bearish trap trade. And then we're also going to map out the dreaded sideways move. I think the dreaded sideways move can really be taken off the table, though, today. We're gapping down 1%. I doubt that we're going to see a gap down and a small range on OPEX Friday on a gap down situation. All right, so we'll skip that. We're going to still stick to the process, okay? All right, so immediately what I'm going to do is sticking to the new theme or the new structure. We're going to map out the most bullish argument on the left, and the most bearish argument on the right. So let me get these charts set up for you guys. Remember, on a higher time frame, we're monitoring 73.99 as well as 73.63. Those are the ones we want to have mapped out and framed out in our narrative, okay? All right, so jumping right in, let me grab my pen. All right. Let's see, what is this? Is the 7th. Okay, so this is Monday's low. Just want to make sure we get that. No, that's Tuesday's low. Sorry, Tuesday's low. What's the Monday low? Okay, so Tuesday was the low of the week. Actually, hang on a second. Let me just zoom out on this for one quick second. I want to take a look at the weekly chart just to see how the weekly is forming. I just want to see what the weekly candles looks like up here. All right, so we got this kind of selling tail. Let's see how it develops. Okay, cool. All right, let's get back to it. Let me know if you guys are checking in on socials. Drop a comment. Let me know. I want to make sure I get you guys involved in the conversation. If you have any questions about what we're framing out, drop a question in there. We're going to have some. We're going to talk about also next week. Next week we have some big things brewing on the Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Let's map out the most bullish argument on the right, most bearish argument on the left. Okay. Still trying to get used to this new structure. All right, guys. So immediately coming into today, right? So say that we're gonna talk about the bullish argument, and we're gapping down say we're opening at 74.40. Okay, so the first thing that we have to contend with is that we've been on the 15-minute time frame, which we're looking at 15-minute time frame on both charts here. Okay, so we're gonna give them equal sizing, equal weight. All right. So immediately, guys, pointing out, look, lower high, lower high, lower high. And on the 15-minute, we can see that price is respecting that 21-period moving average. All right. Right now, that 21-period moving average comes in at 74.50. And so let's just make sure we're aware of where that is. Okay. So the most bullish argument. All right. So immediately say price is opening up at 74.41. Okay, and we get an open drive. The first thing we have to contend with is the most previous lower high, and that's coming in at 74.7150. Now, it's interestingly enough is that lines up perfectly with Thursday's Globex low. So you can kind of see that framed out here. So it gives us a really good visual reference for any type of potential shift in this daytime frame low downtrend that we're seeing. Okay. So say we're opening up at 74.42 and immediately we get an open drive to the upside, which is a high possibility because we know that we're looking at an overnight inventory that's net short, right? So again, just to quickly cover that, the way we discern whether the overnight inventory is net long or net short is we look at the prior day settlement. Yesterday, the ES settled at 75.21, and we can easily see that all of the volume, pretty much 99% of it, has been below the settlement. So going into today at the open, we're going to look at it. Okay, the overnight inventory is net short. All right, so say we opening here at 74.43, and immediately we get an open drive. The first thing we're going to have to contend with is that 74.71 high. Okay, so if we can get above the 71.71 high, right, and say we have a pullback, but that pullback fails to breach these lower highs here at, map this out. So it's like 75.55 to 75.50. Okay, let me clean this up. I want to make sure we get a good view here. Okay, 74.53. We test that 71.71 high. That's going to still signal, hey, we're still in a downtrend. We're still respecting the lower high. But say price pulls back and it holds that 74.50 to 74.55 area, right? Okay, so at that point, we're going to be monitoring the price action. We're going to continue to watch for sellers to be absorbed. And if we start to get the move higher up towards yesterday's low being 74.79, at that point, we can look for the local low here and entertain a long idea to participate in the correction of that overnight inventory, with our first target being the 71.71 high and then the next target being 74.79. Again, remember, we want to be taking our scales along the way. We're trading those evaluations. We're trading these funded accounts. We want to make sure we respect the risk. We want to make sure we get to payout. We want to make sure we pass those accounts. Okay, so first off, if we get the bullish open, and immediately we're going to be testing over that 74.50 21 period moving average. So again, that's going to be another great visual reference. And if we get the pullback, you can easily see here from the chart that 74.50 21 period moving average will also be acting as support, giving us another visual reference from which to use as a risk marker. Again, keep the risk tight on these things. We don't want to fill those accounts. We want to make sure that we preserve any profit that we have in them and that we reach those payout, whatever the rules state. Okay, so that's the most bullish argument. All right, let's go over the most bearish argument. So for that, we're going to flip over to the left chart and say we're opening up at 74.44. Okay, and instead of getting that open drive, instead we immediately test lower. And again, we know that when ES is selling, it's a hot knife through butter. We get these long prints. You can see them there easily on the 15-minute, right? We see these long prints. And if we're really bearish and we're going to sell for the rest of the day, that means gap down. Overnight inventory is correct. We're gapping down. We should just cut like a hot knife through butter right through the overnight low. At that point, what we're going to do is we're going to look for pullbacks or pull-ups, actually, to enter short trades, and with our risk marker being these local lows here. Okay, so let's mark this level down. That level being 74.61. Sorry, 74.40. Okay, so 74.40, and the current overnight low is 74.29. It's wide, guys, so we have to be careful. But as we do always, we're going to monitor for acceptance. We're going to monitor the delta. We're going to wait for conditions to prove that we should enter that trade. But if we do get that look, we cut through the overnight low, and then we get a pullback, we're looking to enter short. We're using 74.40 as our risk marker, as well as 74.29. At that point, we're entering short trades, taking our scales along the way, getting down below the local low, and to see when the ES selling, it's going to sell hard. So we shouldn't have a hard time hitting our first targets. And then at that point, we're moving those stops to break even. We're trailing it down above those local highs, or whatever your process or your plan is. I know that that's what I'll be doing. You guys know I like to manage my trades a little bit looser. However, I don't want to give up a big chunk of the profit if I'm in a green trade. All right, so that maps out the most bullish argument. We also have the most bearish argument. Let's talk about a couple of trap trades that may materialize. We all know how much the ES loves to trap traders. We want to be trading the trap. We don't want to get trapped around here. We're too experienced for that, right? There's a ton of experience in our orbit. There's no need. We've seen it all a bunch of times. Although it's always a different scenario, these days kind of, you kind of seen it all if you've been around for a while. All right, so most bullish arguments on the left, the most bearish arguments on the right. Took a screenshot of those. Let's move on to the bullish trap trade. All right, so we're opening here, 74.45. We get that open drive, right? We get above the 21 period moving average, okay? We breach and we test the 71.71 high, okay? And then what does the price do? It gets above it, all right? So now everyone's thinking, okay, so we breached it, no double top formation, price pulls back, okay? It holds these local highs, and then it's game on to the upside. Okay, so at that point, we're monitoring yesterday's low, right? 74.79. Now, remember, this is the same inverse idea that we saw yesterday and the day before. If price looks into yesterday's range, 74.79, for a gap fill, a true gap fill would be at the settlement, but also we can get a partial gap fill at yesterday's low. Okay, so if we come up and get above 74.71, and then we start to test yesterday's low, and price looks into the prior day's range, but is unable to gain a following, meaning that price starts to peter out, candles get smaller, and we start to form lower highs, at that point, what are we going to start looking for? We're going to start looking for lower highs. We're going to start looking for price to get back below yesterday's low, 74.79. And at that point, we're going to start entertaining short entries with our risk marker being yesterday's low at 74.79, maybe even as high as this local high at 74.87. Okay, make sure you keep that risk tight, no matter the account size you're trading. But at that point, we're entering, when price gets back below yesterday's low, we're entering those short trades. And again, we're looking at 74.79, depending on entry. Then we're looking to take our profit, take those first scales into that 74.71, into this 74.71 high, the one right here, okay? Because we could get a momentary bounce there. And if price gets below it, then we'll know that all these traders that got long looking for a true gap fill up to the settlement are wrong. And then we're going to be taking our scales. It should be a really momentous move. And we'll take our scale at 74.71, 74.50. That should be a really frothy trade. All right. So that kind of covers the bullish trap trade. Let's talk about the bearish trap trade. So for that, we're going to move over to the right-hand chart. Again, guys, the left-hand, guys and gals, the left-hand chart is 15-minute. The right-hand chart's a 15-minute. Both identical charts. Okay, we're just kind of framing out the different looks because so much of trading is very visual, right? So we want to have we want to have that, the potential outcomes kind of in our mindset. All right, so coming into this to the bearish trap trade. So we're opening here at 74.50, okay? And price gets, again, we get that opening drive, that liquidation break. Everybody short from the overnight is thinking, yeah, we're right. We're going lower. You know, we're going to sell off. We're going to be at 6,000 anytime soon. Hang tight here. Coming in on me here. Okay. All right. So back to the bearish trap trade. Okay, so we're opening up 74.49 and we get that liquidation break. Price looks below the overnight low. Again, currently the overnight low is 74.29. If we're breaking lower, guys, 74.29 is going to be the only level that matters. All right, that's going to be our fulcrum. All right, so we have to give that a window too, a little bit below, a little bit above. Let's frame it at, you know, with the current state of the overnight range, we're going to have to give that a good band, right? So let's call it 74.29 is the low. We're going to go as long as a low is 74.25, maybe 74.20. On the upside, we got to do the same thing, 74.35, 74.40. Okay, but we get that liquidation break. Price gets below the overnight low, and then suddenly it peters out, and we start to see those wicks on the 5-minute, and then furthermore on the 15-minute. And then we come up, we test the overnight low, and maybe we come back down a little bit. Maybe we even breach the low. But ultimately, it peters out. Bears are unable to gain a following, and we start inching higher. At that point, what we're doing is we're starting to consider, okay, maybe this is going to form into an inverted head and shoulders. Maybe we're going to start looking higher. At that point, if we get back above and reclaim the overnight low at 74.29, 75, at that point, we're going to start looking for long entries. We're going to start thinking about, hey, this overnight inventory is going to be corrected. All these bears are going to start heading for the exit. That trade should zip pretty quickly. Again, but we don't want to get trapped we don't want to get trapped by entering too early. So we're going to be looking for acceptance. We're going to be monitoring it. We're going to be exercising discipline and patience. Okay. But if we get back above the overnight low, any retest of that low or these local highs is going to be signed for an entry. We're going to get long. At that point, we're going to be taking our scales right at the same levels we were looking at from the top side, 74.45 to 75 to 74.50. And obviously by then we'll have our scales out. We'll have a profit. We'll have our stops at break even. And then we can monitor for maybe even us getting back up to yesterday's low at 74.79. All right. So that covers the bearish trap trade, and they're kind of moving higher here. I framed this out at 74.50, and we're already up 10 points from that. All right, guys and gals, there's the opening bell. Let me just get a quick screenshot of this. Again, we're going to monitor the opening print like we do every day, so that this way we can gauge, use that as a day time frame reference. Again, we're all day time frame traders, right? We're trading in the day time frame. We're getting in, we're getting out throughout the day, especially us prop firm traders. We're forced to close those positions at the end of the session. So let's get the opening print marked on our chart, and I'll do that for us right here. Okay, so we opened up at 74.59 half. 74.59 half. If you can mark it on your chart, do. If not, just jot it down on a piece of paper. I think that's good enough as well. Just make sure you're aware of where it is. All right. So immediately, guys, we opened up at 74.49.50, and already now we're back below and testing it. Okay. So maybe we're on the way for that liquidation break. We're going to have to monitor it here very, very closely. Let's stay alert. Again, not to anticipate. We don't want to predict. We want to react. Let's see. Let me get my time frame here. Right, the correct chart. All right. All right, really quickly, let's look at the internals. Again, we're going to look. So we opened up at 74.59 and heads up, right? So we traded up to 74.62, only a few points above the open, and we sold off immediately. That reminds me of something, right? Wasn't that what we saw back here on Tuesday? No, it was on Thursday. Same kind of look. We opened like 2 ticks above the open and then sold off. But look at what ultimately happened. It ultimately materialized into a look below and fail of the overnight low. So stay alert. It could happen again. Not predicting, but if it does, I will react. All right. Okay. All right, let me knock this back a little bit. I want to get into okay, so I have an algo executed trade short here at 74.57. It's got 2 scales out already. Guys, I love these algos. I love these ATA execution trades. If you want to know more about that, these are the PTG auto execution. If you need to know more about that, shoot me an email. I'll get you all set up. I'll get you the plug on these. All right, so dialing in here. Let's see what we have. Okay, I heard you. We also have audio alerts. Good morning. Hey, good morning. How are you? Thanks for checking in. Appreciate it. All right. So immediately we're starting to move lower. That trade already executed. It got me in. It got me out. That's sweet. Way to, great way to start the day. Loving it. Okay. All right. I don't know how many of you guys are out there, or you guys and gals are trading prop accounts. I came across this X post and I thought it was really, really interesting. I'm going to get into it right now. I know the price action is moving kind of quick, so I want to make sure we stay focused on the tape as we come down into these lower support zones. We want to make sure that we're staying vigilant of the price action, monitoring the delta, keeping an eye on internals. It's really important to watch the internals on a morning like this because, gapping down 1%, that should be fairly evident in the internals, right? We want to see a broad-based decline in all the majors. We want to see, smoke. Just realized that the 10-year is up 2%. Guys, 10 years up 4.5%. That's I'm going to look at that chart. That's got to be like 1970s territory. All right. 74.34 is our current low. 74.34 is our current low. All right, we're looking at the 3,000 tick chart on the left. We're looking at on the right, I have a 3,000 tick chart. This is my PTG auto algorithm. On the left, on the right, and on the left, we have the CCI cross. Okay, so he got me short here, guys. I got short at 74.38. Heads up. 74.38, looking for 74.33 for the first scale. Not crazy about this trade. I'm not crazy, but I'm going to respect the algo. I'm going to respect it. I'm going to let it execute. It's programmed for me. I'm not going to get in the way of it. I'm going to let it do its thing. Hey, so heads up. So did any of you guys catch a piece of this move lower? It's been a long night for me. Just want to be honest about that. I want to be straightforward about that. It's been a long night. Interesting story about that, guys. You know, I'm an ES trader. You guys know how much I love to trade in the overnight session, and so yeah. So I saw the weakness. I want to go over something that's really interesting when we have a moment here. I'm going to cover something about the market blueprint. I want to show you the power of the levels because they matter. They matter. They can really help you with your trading. All right. Oh, narrow miss on that first target. Narrow miss on that first target. I'm going to venture to say that, yikes, 74.62. Okay. Okay. All right. Got short again. Got short again. All right. All right. Got that first target, guys. Got 74.42 short on the algo executed trade. All right. I got the first target for plus 5 points. Heads up, guys. I got two shorts going on here, two separate accounts, looking for 74.33 on the left. I just got executed for 5 points from 74.42 down to 74.37 for the first target. Looking for the second target of 74.32. So now I have 74.32 on the right. You can see it by the green line. I'm going to stretch this one out. I want to make sure that both of these get out at the same price and just kind of give me peace of mind. Well, wait a minute. I just said I wasn't going to mess with the algorithm. So let me move it back. Yeah. Stick to the process, Manny. Let's go. Don't overthink it. I hate touching orders too. Large Void says 74.50 with a potential target to me yesterday as Thursday, Friday low weekly map. But no, I missed the overnight selling. Yeah, so interesting. Okay, got that second target, guys. Got the target on the CCI crossover on the left. All right. Now on the right, coming in. Come on, baby. Oh, yes, I got it. Filled. 74.32 filled. So plus 10 points on that. Man, this is an amazing day. It's turning out to be really good. I mean, sometimes you're just in sync with the market. You're in that flow state. You're just seeing it. Well, actually, I'm not seeing anything. It's the PTG algorithms that are executing it for me, right? All right, guys. So moving to break even on the 74.42. This one is short 74.38. Both of these are at break even. So once we slow down a little bit here off the open, really busy open. I was short overnight. Last night when I got back from practice, I noticed something in the price action, and it was written about in yesterday's market blueprint. So once we slow down here a minute, I'm going to explain some to you and how you can actually use that market blueprint even into the overnight session, and how the levels are respected and how the narrative was framed. You kind of knew what to look for. We'll get into that in a bit, but that trade was amazing. So ultimately I had short. I mean, look, I'll show it to you. So if you guys remember yesterday's market blueprint, the 75. Let me see. I put it in chat. Let me just make sure I get the level right. Okay. Yeah. So if you remember yesterday's resistance sell was 75.62. Okay. It was 75.40, 75.27. And we reached it. We went up to 75.40. All right. Let me monitor this. Okay. Come on, baby. Fill me. Let's go. Get me down there. Sorry if I'm darting around here with my I'm actually on like not a lot of sleep, guys. Not a lot of sleep. I've been up since okay, moving higher here. Looks like I'm gonna get stopped out. Okay, I got taken out at break even on the left, so I got one fill on that. All right, one fill. I'll take what the market offers. I'm at break even on 74.42. I'm going to just let that execute on its own. Looks like I'm going to get taken out there also. That's okay. I got two scales on this one. I got one scale on the left. And actually, I'm okay with things slowing down a little bit. It's been a really busy morning. All right. So I got taken out break even on the right. Let's make sure we get these algorithms in sync here. Oh, geez, it's going to go right back down. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Seriously? Dude, I got taken out to the, like, by a tick. Oh. God dang it. To the tick. To the effing tick. I thought, and I helped that little lady across the street the other day. I thought it was good. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, guys, let's go back. I want guys and gals, if you guys are the ones of you who are in a trade, make sure you manage your trade. I want to slow things down a little bit. I've had quite a few trades going on already, but I want to go into something really quickly just to show you yesterday's market blueprint. Let's see. Okay, so yesterday's market blueprint had a level at 74, 42 to 46. We traded up to 40 and were rejected. Again, these levels can be used as support or resistance. So then we sold off. And what I realized, if you guys remember, I was talking about the clock and we were looking for that 330 high, right? We were looking for a high up here. We were unable to get to that high, the overnight session. It dawned upon me, and I left, but I came back around 8 o'clock, and I realized that we failed to make that last hour high, so it was a broken pattern. The pattern failed, okay? And what I realized was our inability to take out that last hour high in the overnight session. I came in, it was really late. It was about 7:30, 8 o'clock. But our inability to take out that high, I figured, all right, you know what? That resistance held. And then I got short roughly at about just below the Globex open, just below the settlement at 75.19. I got 5, 10, 15, and then ultimately I covered the last one at 75.75 for a 40-point gain on the last one. And that was right here. It was roughly, I woke up, I put the trade on, and then I took a shower and I fell asleep. And then I woke up at about 2 a.m. and I ran in here and I checked it, and I've been up ever since. Brutal night, but very, very, very lucrative. Looking at another payout in that account. Another payout. And I was chatting with one of the guys I coach about it yesterday, and I'm also talking to another trader buddy about that same scenario. And I was hang on, let me make sure I got everything in check. God dang it, man, that's brutal. That is brutal. I got a lot knocked out to the tick. To the tick. I mean, all right, I'm not going to get upset about it. Who am I kidding? I'm upset about it. Ah, that stinks. Anyhow, whatever. I don't want to carry it into the next trade. Heads up down here. Heads up. Watch this down here, guys. If you guys got the market blueprint, you know what we're looking for down here. We're a little bit early on time. A little bit early on time. We don't want to catch a falling knife either. But we want to stay alert down here. Yeah, look at this. There's just no stopping this thing. Let's go. All right. So brutal, man. Brutal, brutal, brutal. So yeah, if you guys are following the market blueprint, you should understand that those levels. All right, so this is one of those levels here. I have to go ahead and it's my responsibility to take the trade at this level. All right, so now I'm watching for acceptance. My job. I plan the trade. All right, so 74.20. If you guys have the blueprint, you know what's up. But we're a little bit early on time. Here's where it gets dicey, guys. This is a real-time read, right? This is where it gets a little dicey. All right, they're still pressing. They're still pressing. So, yeah, I'm watching it closely. I'm watching this. I'm watching the order flow right now. I'm watching the order flow. I'm watching it like a cat watches a mouse hole. Looking for that shift. I'm looking for a shift in the delta at support. And I'm not seeing that at all here. At all. Okay. VIX is gapped up. Ticks are still low. Still broad-based selling. Russell's on low. NASDAQ's on low. 10 years. Oh my God, 10 years up incredibly. All right, 74.20. Wait. 103 contracts at the low. 103 contracts at the low. Looking like a bounce. Okay. 74, 73 long, 74, 74, 26, 75, 74, 29. This thing's moving quickly. We wicked. I don't like the low here. I don't like the low. I got 74, 26, 74, 29, looking for 74, 34. God dang it, it's not up on the screen. Let me get it on. I got to change the count. Hang on. Oh, man. Dang it. Here it is. I got 74, 26, 74, 29, looking for 5 points on the first, 10 points on the second. All right, got the first one. 74, 29. I got 5 points on the first. 29, 39. Looking for 39 on the second. Tightening up the stop. Looking for 74, 39 on the second. Tightening up the stop. I don't like to trail it this tightly, but however, it is Friday. It is OPEX. I have a nice green profit. I want to make sure that I hang tight. You know what? Actually, what are we trading? 79.34. What's the need here? What hang on, because I'm thinking about just maybe moving this target and leaving the stop at break even, but then I have to accept that I may get taken out on a retracement, right? So I may make nothing on this. I'm risking 4 points for a potential overnight inventory correction, right? Okay, so that's what I'd be risking here. I have an unrealized gain of 6 or 7 points, but I'm willing to accept nothing on the trade in the hopes that it goes a lot further and I can, secure a larger trade. I'm willing to do that on this one because I'm green on the day. So that helps a lot. Two, because of the overnight inventory. 3 because I'm at a valid support level that was mapped out last night. That's setup number 1 on the market blueprint. All right, here it comes. Probably going to come back down. That is not the low of the day, guys. That is not the low of the day. This is just a bounce play. So let me make sure I have the target here where it makes sense. 74.29. Right now, it's it's currently sitting at 74.49. I am willing to take a dynamic exit on this. And by dynamic exit, what am I talking about? Hang tight. Let me just monitor this. Yeah, no traction. No traction. Stops at break even. Oh, hey, heads up. I'm short here. I'm short 74.37 short on the A4 3,000 tick chart on the right. So I'm short at 74.37. I'm long at 74.29. Don't try this at home. All right, taking out here, stops at break. That stop break even. So that trade yielded 5 points and a break even. Okay, and now this one, let me get the right account number up. Let me see where we're at on the Thinkorswim chart. Okay, guys, we're testing. We're trying to reclaim the overnight low, 74.29. All right, we're trying to reclaim that low, 74.29. Let's see. All right. So here's this short. Things are moving fast. I'm going to heads up. I'm going to disable after this. We're reclaiming the low, reclaiming the overnight low at 74.29. We're back above it. We just pulled back to it and held it to the tick. Heads up. I'm looking for a re-entry. Grabbing a couple micros. So this one got taken out. It stops at break even. That got taken out at break even. All right, I grabbed some micros. That's 36 quarter. Again, I'm super small on this. I'm super small. $36 quarter. Looking for what is this? Let me get this up right here. So here's a little bit of risk management on this Friday. So here's the position. Okay, I have an average of 37 on the bounce off the reclaim of overnight low. Looking for that inventory correction. Okay, I'm super small on it. I've only got 4 micros on. Right, so let me make sure I have these orders fanned out. 74.37, looking for 74.47. Okay, that's close enough. 74.47. Let's go, baby. Come on, let's go. Feel me, baby. Feel me. All right, 74.47. Got 74.47. We've got 7 points in it right now. Counter trending is never a good idea. Don't try it at home. Come on. Let's go. 74.47. Looking for 74.52 on the next. Still holding 3. Let me know if you guys caught a piece of this. Take those scales. Looking for 74.52 on the next. I'm looking for 74.52 for 15 points. I got 1 10-point scale on it. Come on. Pull up. Let's go. Pull up. Come and get me at 74.50. Oh, we're gonna run into trouble right here. Look at this low volume notch. 74. Got 74.49. Heads up. 74.49. We have to pay attention. 74.49 matters. It's a low volume node. If we bust through that, we're gonna get through yesterday's volume point of control at 74.50. Heads up. I'm gonna scale a little bit more right here because we just pulled up 74.48 and we're pulling back now. So I just took another one off. Trying to be mindful of the trend of the liquidation break, but I also want to participate in the long. Again, this is a pre-planned trade that also fit into the narrative during the pre-market plan, right? We hit setup number one on the market blueprint. We hit setup number one on the market blueprint. We traded that. We got 1 5-point scale on it, got taken out of break even, and then we reclaimed the overnight low. If you guys are just tuning in, we're tracking the ES. The market blueprint had set up number one, long at 74.20 to 74.24. We just traded a low of 74.20 to the tick. We traded that long. We got a 5-point scale, but we actually got stopped out because we had to chase it a little bit on a bad fill. We came right back down, tested the overnight low, 74.29, and then we triggered again. We got long again off of that. Another terrible fill, but the market's moving fast, guys. Direction is everything. If you get the direction right and you understand the context, you can pay up a little bit because it's a participate in the move, manage the risk accordingly. You can see that I wasn't willing to go in the second time with minis. I went in with micros. Oh, narrow miss there. Narrow miss, guys. Narrow miss on the 52 offer. Missed it at 51. Missed it at 51. Oh man, you got to pay attention. Look at that. Hey, heads up. I took one off at 49, but that volume node there, that low volume, 74.50 quarter is that low volume node. I'm going to tighten up, right? Tighten up. I'm holding two. Again, it's a really small trade for me. It's just a few micros. It is Profit Protect Friday, though. Good job, Lord Void. Out second half on a higher time frame. Good, excellent. Good job, Delphine. Nice. Hey, tighten up here. Tighten up. We're coming back down. Tighten up. Ultimately, though, I think we're going to move higher. I'm still holding one. I've got no stop in it just yet. I might get hosed here. It's one micro, all right? It's like chicken scratch. I'm willing to add again if the conditions. No, let me see. What was the high? What does the high look like? No, dude. No. No, I'm out. Minus 6 on that. Minus 6.5 on that ad. On the last one. I'm flat across the board. Let me turn everything off here. Hang tight. Hang tight. I want to make sure that everything is disabled before these algos run amok on me. Actually, I'm leaving this one on. Okay. This is the 7:30. This one's off. Whew. Guys, if you're still in your positions, stay focused, all right? Manage those positions. Manage those positions. Tighten up those stops. The low of the day is not in, but look, remember the clock, okay? It's only 10 o'clock. We're not in the window. We're not in the window yet, all right? We're not in the window yet. We're not in the window yet. I am willing to try this again. I don't know. That feels like over trading to me. I'm going to chill out. I already traded this level twice. I'm going to have to exercise some discipline here. All right. The low of the day is not in yet, though. But if I were flat, if I hadn't tried this twice already, I'd probably be buying it again on the retest. But I'd wait for the, we're demonstrating acceptance above the overnight low, right? We talked about this. I just have to practice some discipline here because I've already taken it twice. And I'm willing to pass on this one. This one is probably the one that will go and fill the gap. Who knows? Again, don't let me influence your trading, man. Trade your account, trade your process. I'm just sharing with you all, the viewers, on how I operate. Hopefully that helps you out in your trading. Okay. Oh my God, this thing got me short again. Oh, I thought I turned it off. God dang it. It's so hard to never mind. I'm not going to complain about it, but I'm closing this one out. So this one didn't even hit its first target. It got me short 3. Ugh. Guys, I'm gonna close it out. We're above the overnight low. I don't want to be short down here. If it breaks to new lows, it breaks to new lows. Just too much trading. I'm trying to stream also. I want to make sure that all right, here we go. We're popping again. Look, I can't be short into the S3L AM low. That's a rule for me. That's why I turned off the other algorithm. All right, so I can't be short. That just goes against my rules, against how I like to operate. I'm not going to be short into a clock turn that's telling me, hey, you know what, price might turn on you here. All right. It looks like we're forming acceptance above the overnight low. Overnight low is 74.29.75. We're starting to eat into this 15-minute wick. All right. I don't want to be short down here. That's just me. If you're short, you can make a case for it. Stick to your process. Process is everything. Okay. Look, of course. Oh, man. Oh, of course. This is the one. I try it twice. It knocks me out. And then the third try was the best. Yep. Is it? I'm shutting it down. I'm going. So heads up, just being mindful of things and how they're how they're going right now. I'm definitely putting myself into stop loss protocol. Although I didn't take a stop, right? I didn't take a stop to trigger it. It's more like post-win euphoria. Of course, I got out of that short over there, and it's breaking. I just have to hang tight here. Let me know what you guys are doing. What do you guys got going on? How are you managing your trades? Prices, look, Don't get confused down here. All right. We're above the overnight low. We've reclaimed it, and now price is starting to show acceptance above, even though it's not a really clear acceptance because every time we look up, sellers are active. Dicey read, but it's showing. It's starting to show some acceptance now. It's just tricky right here. Tricky. So stick to your process. All right. I'm going to try to give you the best read that I can, and from this, we are above the overnight low. You can use that as your risk marker. 74.2975. Hey Simon, how are you? Prop traders who are funded are not really live. They are only on them and being paid loosely trading from monthly subscriptions. Yep, that's absolutely true. You're right. You're right, Simon. That is you're right upon that. Yep, it's a here's the thing, Simon, about that. Hang tight. Let me just monitor this. Hang tight. Hang tight. Trying to manage some stuff here, guys. Hang tight. Looking okay, we reclaimed it. We're moving higher. All right. Reclaimed it, moving higher. Moving higher. All right. Remember what we if you guys were in the pit yesterday, we went over the clock nuances. Hang tight, just trying to respond to some of these comments. Good news, though. Good news, guys. Good news. We have a new team member joining us on Monday. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to bringing that team member on. going to be able to help me out with all with replying to all these comments. So I appreciate your patience. All right, guys, look at that. If you guys are long, take some off here. Take some off. All right. Take some off. Small longs here, small longs. Make sure you get those profits in. Take those scales. Okay, moving higher, moving higher. Moving higher here, moving higher, moving higher, moving higher. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Plus 3 on that. Okay, dang it. I don't have the account up here. Shit. All right, so here we go, guys. Here we go, 74.42. I got one off, plus 5 points. I'm looking for plus 5 on another. Sorry if you missed it. I was on answering this comment, and I'm also so much going on here. All right, come on, baby. Come on. Give me that 52, Phil. Looking for that before. Come on, give me 52. Let's go. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Fill me, fill me, fill me, fill me, fill me. Unbelievable. Why is that 52 so elusive? Oh, because of no volume node is there. Okay. All right. All right. Let's just be patient here. Let's just be patient. Don't overreact. Stay patient. Stay vigilant here. Overnight inventory needs correct. Got acceptance over the overnight low. Let me know how you guys are trading it. Come on. Come on. Let's go. You know you want to. Come on. Come join the winner's circle. Let's go. Come on. Oh. There you go. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Offering 57s on the next. 57. 57 on the next. Dang it. I'm not sticking around here, guys. I know you guys can see my screen. I don't have a stop in, and that's because I'm watching it very closely. I entered back at the midpoint. Large void says, you see, I'm catching up with chat comments right now. It's a battle here. Live action. Thanks for joining us. Live negative delta at the 32 level, having a hard time getting through the sandbaggers. Indeed. I'm talking profits here with the bonds bidding and CL hitting VWAP. Battle here. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Keeping my eye on this. Looking for that 15-point fill at 57. Let's see. Large void said observing price between opening midpoint BGL, price below BGL, and I'm skittish. If it doesn't break really soon, think squeeze is coming. Still long. Delphine, way to hold it. Stick with it. I think we have a strong chance of correcting the overnight inventory. I would be scaling. Remember, use the clock. Okay. If you're using the clock, we got the AM low. All right. And if you have the clock, if you don't have the clock, go to my feed at Manny_trends. It's listed there. And that will that'll give you some insight. Okay, boom. So guys, I got that fill at 57. It was actually 14 points on the ad for 14 points. Got the last contract here, moving to break even. All right, cool. Active morning, man. Wow, I've been up since 2:30 in the morning. I'm running on vapors. I am going to crash after this. I'm going to crash. I'm so locked in on this price zone, on this price action right now, though. You have to pad the account when you're trading well. Firm believer in that. And the opposite is true too, right? If you're trading like a blind person, step away. Period. Have confidence in your ability. You'll get it when you're hot. You'll come back. That's fine. Market's not going anywhere. All right, guys, we're coming up into this high here. I'm coming up into this high. I have to make a decision here. I only have one contract, 16 points in it. Do I hold it and look for new highs, look for the inventory correction, or do I just take the 16 points? If I hold it, then I have to be willing to accept that I'm going to give up a large portion of this gain, and I have to accept it right now. And then I have to be okay with whatever the outcome is. I can't have it both ways. I'm going to accept it. You know, if it comes, I have a good profit on the day. I got that 40-point trade overnight. I'm going to accept it. Yep, 40 points. Yep, with 40 points. Okay. All right, guys. Pulling up. We're pulling up. 18. Nice. Where's my hat? Guys, I'm going to move. We reclaimed the overnight low. Picture perfect, man. I'm so glad you guys got to participate in this with us. Reclaim, look below fail, hit the support, reclaim. Now we're back through the opening print, right? Now we have to start thinking. We have to start thinking the daily could print as a what? As a hammer print. Still really early in the day, though, for that. Take a look at the internals. 2.5 to 1 positive, negative. Yeah, I don't know about a hammer here, but we're just going to trail this up. And I'm going to cover into that window for sure. I'm not going to give up. You know, once this gets to a certain point, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give it all up. If you guys want to know more about the execution clock, go follow me on X. I'm at Manny_trends. I don't post that much, but what I post is pretty relevant, or relevant to the stream. Again, always trying to add more value to those. Oh, good. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Delphine, I hope you're still long. I hope you're still on. Hang on, let me just reply to this comment. Okay. Cool. Nice, Delphine. Well done. Well done. Out of range. All right, here we go. Here we go. Pulling up. All right, let's start talking about where we're gonna run into trouble, right? Let's get ahead of this. Let's get ahead of this. All right, guys. So easy, right? So we mapped this out earlier in the pre-market, right? We knew that we're gonna run into we're over our curling moving averages, just as we thought. So next up is 71.71. That's a potential double top. If we get above there, then we could possibly run to yesterday's low. And I'm going to tell you right now, if we get to yesterday's low, if we fail to get acceptance in yesterday's low at a clock turn, I'm going to have to peel it off. I'm going to have to peel it off. Other than that, I'll just hold it, and I'll make a real-time read. I'll keep you guys updated to what I'm doing. Let's see. If you guys want to know a little bit more about my rules and kind of these what I call PWE, post win euphoria, as well as SLP, stop loss protocol, I'm going to post something on X about that. Though they're just two rules that have served me really well over the years, and I didn't come across those rules easily. Those rules were forged in deep pain. All right, so PWE is what I call post win euphoria. So here's what post win euphoria is, really quickly. All right. So one lesson that I learned over trade while I was trading was that I would trade really well. I would execute a plan. I would have a plan. I would follow it. I'd execute it, and the euphoria of executing that system and it working out would sometimes lead me into this state of mind where I was compromised, meaning that the euphoria would compromise my ability to make decisions, and I would then end up trading outside of my process and end up giving back the wins. It's all about identifying, and coming into understanding with that emotional state, that emotional component, mindset, like Danny was talking about. All right, we're pulling down here, guys. We came up 71.67, 71.67. I'm pulling up the stop from 74.43 to 74.45. Moving it up 2 points. So post win euphoria came. Post win euphoria came about from that hard earned lesson, right? Was that I realized that after a win, I was just as vulnerable as after a loss. And so now after a win, where I feel like my decision is compromised, my decision making ability is compromised, I take a victory lap, just get away from the screens, enjoy the win. All right, pulling down here a little bit more than I'd like to, putting in a lower high relative to 71.71. I mean 74.71. I'm going ahead. I'm going ahead and locking in 10 on this. I'm gonna have to lock in at least something on this. I have to get paid. I have to get paid. I want to make sure that my wife goes to Target. I want to make sure that she can make frequent trips to the dollar store. Frequent trips to the dollar store. Oh man, I need to look at the camera more. Yeah, yeah. Dollar store profits. I just like when she gets out of the house. And not that I don't like having her here. It's just I like to be alone sometimes. When you look, oh wait, hang on, hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. Let me just look at this. What's the low here? 74.48. We're coming down hard. I already gave up 10 points on this. I can't give up much more. I'm out. I'm out. I took like 8 or 9 points. Probably the wrong cover, guys, but like I said, I'm trying to take it to Target, dollar store, something like that. And here's the thing. Again, if you guys are long and it's part of your process to hold it, hold it. Normally I would have held that. But I also see that I'm going to get long here on the ATA. So I don't like the way we put in that lower high. I really wanted to see us pull up over it. So I'm okay with the 8. Obviously I would have liked the 20, right? Duh. But I'll take the 8 and move on to the next trade. Yeah, we just made a lower high there. Yeah, I'm good with that. There was no in hindsight, just in review, maybe I could have taken it, a hard profit at 20. I mean, maybe, but um, but in reality, there was no way to know if it was not going to make a lower high, that it was going to make a lower high. I'm not going to overly scrutinize myself. I've had a fantastic day, night, morning. So yeah, so I came up with those 2 rules: post win euphoria and stop loss protocol. And those rules were more about stop loss protocols when whenever I feel that a loss affects me and I'm feeling kind of bummy about it. The rule states that I need to walk away and take a break. Because again, my decision making process has been compromised. Yep. Yeah. So sorry about that. Live action. Sorry. Back to Simon's question. Simon, live action. I went short near the top when I saw the size hitting sitting size in the bid. Someone wanted that liquidity, and I thought others would want to take profits there too. Hey, smart move. Good trade. Good trade. Make sure you manage it well, right? Make sure you manage it. Entries matter, and in my opinion, exits matter more than entries. All right, we're moving higher, guys. Guys, hey, you guys with the diamond hands holding through that pullback. Hats off to you. Well done. Super.
First pullback, take trade.
All right, team, hang tight. I have to go. I have to use the restroom really quickly. Exits are hard. Yeah, I fully agree. Live action. Yeah, they're really hard. There's more to deal with on an exit, right? It's like, they're not as easy as people would think. Moving higher, moving higher. Hey, for you guys, hey, live action, make sure you tighten up here. Make sure you get those scales out and tighten up. At least move it to break even. Don't let that winner become a loser. For y'all that are long, hold it. If you're holding, you're looking for you're looking for over 71.71. Oh, look at that. I snuck a peek in at the I had to take a look at at the the P&L. That's nice. All right, I'm really happy about that. All right, hang tight, team. I have to go use the restroom. Give me a few minutes. Hey, live action, Simon, hang tight. All right, guys, don't tune away. Be right back. I'm just gonna use the restroom. All right, team, I'm back. Apologies for the delay. I was probably against my the 30-second rule, but we're moving higher here. Oh my God. I thought I turned this thing off. Son of a bitch. All right, I need to. All right, if you're just joining me right now, I'm Manny, Pitbull Traders. We're tracking the ES. Earlier in the morning, what we were looking for, we framed out a bullish trap trade, a bearish trap trade. We got that look. We're tracking ES. We're looking for a move above the daily open, 74.59. And then the next target would be to see if price can breach over the local high and stop the trend down. And that would be at 74.71. If we can breach there and show some acceptance, then we're looking at 74.79. So target that. If you're long, target that range, 74.71 to 74.79. Okay, you want to start taking some scales into that area. If you're flat, we want to wait for price to pull up into that zone, and then decisions will be made. I think pullbacks right now are buyable above there. And you're going to target yesterday's low, 74.79.75. If you're bearish and you're looking for a short trade, then if I was bearish and I was looking short, I'd be waiting for price to demonstrate a rejection at 74.71, or maybe even a rejection at yesterday's low, 74.79.75. If we do get a rejection there, I'll draw it out for you. If you're just joining us right now, we're tracking the ES. And what we are looking for, if you're looking for a short trade, if price comes up, looks into yesterday's low, right, or breaches the 74.71 high, and if it gets into yesterday's regular trading hours range and gets above 74, let's call it 74.80, and it shows an inability to gain acceptance within yesterday's range and falls back below, then at that point we start looking for short entries, looking for further price, looking for our first target being the opening print at 74.59. Our risk marker would be that local high that was created on above yesterday's low. All right. If that makes sense to you, let me know. If it doesn't, I'll explain it again. We're tracking the ES, looking for something like that, with our risk marker being up here. All right, if we come up, we look in, we make a lower high, then we're looking to get short right back below yesterday's low with our stop being above this local high, or maybe even the high up here, okay? If you're just joining us, we're tracking the ES. Again, if you're just joining us, the only level that matters right now, 74.71. It's the last local high. It's the lower high that was made in the pre-market session. If you're looking for longs, let's frame that out. Tricky spot right here, okay? Tricky spot to get long. Let's look for pullback ideas. Pullbacks to 74.50, 74.50 to 74.55 that can hold. I mean, that's the entry area, but you're running into a potential lower high without having breached the 74.71 high. Just know the risk involved with that trade. Understand the risk involved with that trade. The algorithm, I walked out of the room and Unfortunately, I had the algorithm off, but I have it got me long at 74.5350. It got one scale out, 74.59. I thought I had it off. Just so much going on right now. Tricky spot right here. Tricky spot. Again, if you're just joining us, we're tracking the ES. On my right hand chart, I have an algorithm executed trade long at 74.53. All right, that's auto execution. That's the PTG auto execution algorithm. If you need to know more on that, you can reach me on X, or you can contact me, Manny at Pitbull Traders. Stand alert. This trade right here at 74.53 long is an automatic, is an ATA trade. It's the stop is at break even, and it's looking for its final target at 74.68 on the final exit. I really like that exit there. And so the first thing, hey, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna track this live, right? We're gonna just give you the real time reads, as we always do. And the first thing, guys, that I'm noticing, right, is let's just look at the 5 minute here on the left hand chart. Okay, the first thing that jumps out to me is, despite the lower high, right? That's the first thing. This is our first need, 74.71, which was the high that was made at about 6:15. Excuse me, 6:30 in the pre-market session. That's where, where many of the overnight short positions that were placed in that area when we retested Thursday's low, they took short positions, so they're short from there. They're using that most likely as a risk marker. If we get above there, that'll signal a shift. But the important thing that stands out to me right now is our inability to take out that first spike high that we made on our first ramp, that when we came up here, and that time was 10:25 EST. So that was the initial drive up, and we've been unable to follow through. So it's already signaling to me that bulls are unable to gain a following up here.
First
right?
pullback, take trade.
No, thank you. I don't want to get long up here anymore. I'm disabling the algo. It would have got me long on a pullback. I don't want that. I'm going to hold what I have with a stop at break even. So all of these are off. Okay, I just got taken out break even, and heads up, we're seeing that, right? So this is what we were talking about. Price's inability to bulls are unable to gain a following. The low, I'm going out on the edge here and saying that the low of the day is not in. The low of the day is not in. I would be betting that the high of the day is in. Again, that's just my experience. There's no data behind that. I'm just sharing my experience and what I think might transpire. Okay. In fact, if we hang tight. if we get another stab up here, 70 to 74.63 to 74.65, I may try the short, but time needs to be on my side. All right, time would need to be on my side. Yeah. Yep. Time. Yeah, we're fading. Tighten up. Tighten up if you're long. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. It's those are hard earned lessons, man. Hard earned lessons. Blood, sweat, and tears. Your stop loss protocol. Those two lessons and during a trade plan, I mean, were so important to me, to consistency and long-term profitability. Again, if you're just joining us right now, if you're joining in on socials, we know we have over 200 people tuning in today. My name's Manny. I'm Manny from Pitbull Traders. We're tracking the ES. I've been trading futures for over 15 years. I run a little banner so you guys get to know me a little bit more. Been trading futures for 15 years, and we decided to go start streaming with the guys associated with Mr. Top Step. We thought we could start adding value to other people's trading. Along with that, what we have is we have our own prop firm, arm. And the reason for that is that we just saw that there were a lot of different prop firms that were offering traders funding, but then they would just step away. Like funding is like handing the keys to a Ferrari to a 17-year-old, right? They would just give you funding and then walk away. And then you're sitting there resetting accounts, blowing up, and they're just collecting fees. We thought we could do it a little bit differently. So education is a large part of what we do, educating, developing traders, helping them to become consistently profitable. So guys, that brings me to an interesting point. Some of these prop firms are so nefarious in what they do, right? So they tell you, hey, you can come over here and trade 5 accounts or 10 accounts, or I've even heard 20 accounts, right? And without any care in the world, right? Or without any instruction to what you're doing. And they're just collecting fees. And to me, if you're a trader and you're trading prop firms, start off with one account. For instance, I was chatting with another buddy, another trader friend who's in our chat yesterday, and I was telling him I've been trading the same 2 accounts, the same two $50,000 Pitbull trader accounts. One of them I passed in the beginning of February, and the other one I passed in March. And I don't need anything more than that. I have other accounts, sure. Yeah, I do, because I have the different strategies that I run. So I like to run each strategy in a particular account so I can track the performance. But you don't need that many accounts. Okay. I mean, the $150,000 account from February, I've gotten paid on that account. I want to say, what was it? I think it was 12 times. I've traded it up to, on 50K, I've traded it up to 75, 79K, but I'm always taking distributions out of it. The other one from March, I've taken even larger distributions out of it. I have several denominations. I have a couple of 50Ks. I have a couple of 150Ks, each one for a different strategy with a different risk parameter tied to it. And so that's what we thought. We thought that launching Pitbull Traders, we could add value to guys, not just giving you funding and walking away, but also giving you funding, helping you learn how to get funded, stay consistently profitable, get consistently paid out. And so for that, we realized that we needed to come on. We needed to show people how we trade live. We're also extend our tools to you. Sorry, excuse me, I was distracted by the screen. We also let you use tools like SPYGATE, and you hear the SPYGATE going off. Every time you purchase an account at Pitbull Traders, you get SPYGATE complimentary. SPYGATE is our institutional trade tracker. I haven't talked about it very much today, but I'm always listening to it. If you hear in the background, if you hear this, you hear that? Okay, that's an institutional buy program. Okay, you can see that ETH just bounced off of VWAP. Okay, that comes complimentary with your evaluation. It's an excellent tool. It lets you know when these large tranches of trades get executed by larger institutions. And we're talking about large trades. You know, $100 or $200 million trade is a low trade there. You know, we're talking about, you know, today's notional trade is over, gosh, that number's so big. I think it's like 10 billion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So we allow you to trade with our capital once you get funded, once you display that consistency, but we also want to teach you how to stay consistently profitable. If you're tired of turning accounts at your prop firm and you're constantly resetting your account, come trade with us. We'll get you funded. We'll show you how to stay consistently profitable. We'll show you how to get consistently paid out. Our prop firm model is not built on resets. Our prop firm model, that's why we don't charge an activation fee. Okay, we're not looking to be the biggest prop firm out there. What we're looking to do is develop a handful of traders, right? Get them funded, and then what we're accepting or what we're looking for is that 20% split. We think that we can have a profitable business with a small group of like-minded, disciplined, process-oriented traders. And if those guys are crushing it every day like we are, then that 20% is going to more than enough pay for our overhead.
First pullback, take trade.
All right, so we're spiking up here. You can hear the SPYGATE going off in the background. That was a sell program. Here, let me show you it on my screen. Here it is. You can see the reds are sell programs and the greens are buy programs. And you can see there's been more reds. This is a 1 minute chart. We're tracking it on a 1 minute. And each time you hear a croak, that's a sell program. Each time you hear a knock, that's a buy program. That's just the way I have it configured. You can configure it with your own sounds. Again, go to pitbulltraders.com. Find out more there. Another sell program. And there's a nuance to using SPYGATE. Again, nothing in trading is linear, right? Everything has its nuances. It's when we get a great set of tools and a great strategy with great mindset, that's when the magic happens. No other prop firm is giving you an institutional trade tracker. We also have the MIM that gives you market on close. You can get your account funded in one MIM trade. All right. So last 10 minutes of the day when the market on close orders come out, we get it 10 minutes before everybody. All right. So we have the SPYGATE, we have MIM, we have the market on close. We also have automatic out. We have the algorithms. If you're interested in that, we'll fund you. So we're not the fastest, and we're not the fastest in terms of getting funded. Nope, that's not us. And also, we're not the cheapest. We're competitive. We're not actually we're right in line with everyone else in terms of cost. But since we're new, we don't pay out just as quickly. It takes 7 days to get paid with us, 3 days to fund it, 7 days to your first payout. And it's not about getting one payout, guys. It's really all about getting consistently paid out, not getting one payout in a month. It's about getting paid every 7 days. Like I just expressed to you, I've been paid. Like I said, I'm still trading the same accounts from February and March, and it's mid May. Tracking ES. All right. So here we keep getting rejected, right? We come up, we wick, price is unable to breach the 74.71 high we've been tracking. Again, I'm pretty sure that's Thursday's low. Hang on. That's Thursday's Globex low. And price is unable to take it out. We put in a lower high at today's high of the day, 74.6775. Let's see if bulls are let's see if these sellers get absorbed and bulls can pop it and take that high. If we can get over 74.71 and get back into yesterday's range above 74.80, then we're taking longs. We're looking for longs. We're looking for a true gap fill up to the settlement up to 75.21. All right, so that's what's going on with EF if you're just joining us. Actually, that's an old banner. It's way more than that now. I gotta edit that. I think I'm at close to 300 now. I'll look it up. I had a banner up that, so when I created this banner, at that point, I had like a little under 200K in prop firm payouts. It's a lot more. It's somewhat more than that now. I'm at that 300 mark. Probably more than that. For sure more than that. I just haven't tallied it. The last time I tallied it was just under 300. And that was back in when I did my taxes. That was at the beginning of March. Well, let me see if I'll see if I can get an image. Let me get an image of the. I'll show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. I can't do that. The account numbers are showing. Let me see if I can block it out. Nah, nobody's interested in that. All right, hey, heads up. So we're tracking the ES. The algos are chopping right now. I'm sitting on my hands, no trades. No trade is a winning trade right now for me. I'm sitting on my hands. I'm waiting to see if we can get over 74.71 or if we can get below 74.45. All right. That's what's going on right now. I don't want to get chopped up by these algos. Nothing else matters. I want to protect profit. Sitting on hands right now. If we break 74.45, guys, the magnet on this move is 74.20. And if we break 74.20, the only level that matters under there is 73.80. Okay, that's going to be a really frothy trade. If we do break it, okay, the only level that's going to matter is 74.75. If we lose 74.20, we're going to 74.25. If we lose 74.20, we're going to 73.75, 73.80. Okay. Only levels that matter on the downside: 74.20, 73.80. Let's frame it that way. And so if we break the low, right, that there's just going to be an excellent trade in that. It's a 40-point band. You got that right. You got that right. Live Action says, Manny, I visited Mr. Topset's live trading room many years ago, and it was filled with pro traders when Danny hosted it. Yep, Danny's still around. Live Action. If so, one thing, Live Action says, Manny, I like the room. One thing would be nice if you can brighten up your charts a bit. Hey, Live Action, I totally understand it. Right, I understand the request. I'm working on it. Trust. So on Monday, I'm going to have someone that's going to be actually helping me out to make sure that the on-screen presentation is a lot better. Unfortunately, right now I'm running it on the streaming software doesn't run on my trading machine, so it's a little bit more difficult. But I'll take your request for sure. I'll try to lighten up the charts this weekend so that you guys can get a better read. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. Look out for that change coming. So Live Action, you mean like the black charts? Are you guys in the pit having a hard time seeing my charts? Do you guys think I should lighten them up a little bit? Let me know. All right, thanks, FaZe. Appreciate the feedback. All right, thanks, Large Void. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So hey, heads up, right? Let's try to frame out. I'm not sure if you guys are in anything, but what I want to start doing now is thinking about, okay, so say we are going to 74.20, right? Where's the entry? This is a chop zone up here. I'm not trying to. It's very. Let's go to the thicker swing chart. It's very hard to execute anything here with any type of adequate risk marker. I mean, right now the risk would be what? The daily open 74.59. That's a 10-point risk. I don't want to do that, especially when I'm not certain on direction. So here's a way to execute it. So say that if we're following the execution clock, say let's drill this down to a 5-minute, get a little bit more granular. Take a look at this, right? Okay, so we're moving lower, right? We keep bouncing off of VWAP. You can see that in the Ninja Trader chart. So VWAP's like right around here. All right, so we're bouncing here. If we continue to balance and we get another pull up to the daily in this area here, where I can get a little bit better risk mark, a bit closer to my exit, then I'll execute that. Then looking for this, or maybe if we get below this wick and we pull up, we come down in here this type of look, right? We come down, get below. If we pull up to the overnight low, I can enter there using this, using this local high as my risk marker, using the overnight low as my risk marker. And then that's looking for the move down to 73, 75, maybe even lower. Internals are confirming. Russell's already testing its low. Two possible scenarios. All right, let's get back to ES. God dang, man! I can't. Trading can be exciting because I've been up for quite a while. Quite a while. I'm happy to be flat right now. And I could have, I wasn't this algo executed that trade. I didn't want it. I have to be careful. So this algorithm right here, it would get me short. Oh, this is actually perfect. So this is exactly the setup I was just talking about. I'm going to turn this one on. This one is going to ultimately probably get me short about 74.60 for 50. We'll see where see this yellow line. So this yellow line is going to do something like this. It's going to come down and it's going to start forming out like that. And then if price pulls up, it'll enter me short. I like that. I'm going to let it, because that would also line up with the clock. With the clock window. So for you scalpers, you can scalp in that direction here. Probably a little late now. I probably had to be in already. Price still struggling here. All right, guys, we're coming in here. Prices just chopping around. Definitely an algo chop zone. It's chop city right now. Make sure you stay flat. Make sure if you do enter, you're getting close to your areas, close to your exits. But be careful. Don't click yourself broke in this area. This thing is just stuck in traffic right now. Don't get caught chasing the bus somewhere and it's not going anywhere. It's just out of gas. Coming back down again. Yeah, see, let's just keep getting so guys. That was rejection from up there. Let's see, it's gonna chop around here a bit. Get another stab up, be late enough in that balance area to maybe justify an entry. We'll see. Let's see. It's high live action on TOS. If you go to the upper right and hit set up and go look and feel and hit the high contrast. All right, let me check that out live. Hang on, live action. It says setup. Okay. That's on this screen. Setup. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Look and feel. High contrast. Boom. Check. Okay. Just make sure that that's done right. Application, set, look and feel, high contrast. Apply settings. Oh, yeah, I get it. Hey, good call there. Thanks, live action. Appreciate it. That is a little bit more bright. Cool. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. Hey, another thing we have to consider here is that the trades, though, this, remember, this is OPEX, right? If you're green, stay green. Don't risk anything. Don't risk anything big in this. If you're not green, wait for the areas. Wait for your areas. Patience is the only winning trade here. That's it. Wait for the next window. Execute there. And with that said, I'm going to go grab something to eat. So that's going to call it for, we're going to put a bow on this one for today. We call it a little bit earlier. It's been a long night for me. Really, really strong night. Had that really strong short overnight based off the market blueprint level. I will be on later on this afternoon for the afternoon Friday wrap up, unless it's hang tight on that. I may not. But we're wrapping it up for today. If you got anything out of this at all, please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, or drop a comment. Let us know how we can improve the show. If you want to see go deeper into the execution clock, send me an email, Manny@Pitbull Traders. Volatility looks like it's drying up here a bit, so be cautious. Shout out to our new funded trader, Kevin. Kevin just got hooked up. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Remember, react, don't predict, and we'll be back. I'll be back on again Monday morning. Monday morning from 9 to 11:30. We have a ton of great traders joining us next week, lining that up. I'm going to go actually work on that lineup later on this afternoon, as well as new production, better visuals, better interaction. So look out for that. Tune back in next week from 9 to 11. Hit the notify button, and we will see you tomorrow. See you on Monday. Thanks, everyone joining in from YouTube and X, as well as Facebook. Later, live action. Take care. Yep, appreciate it. See you on Monday.